It's like the difference between football and pro wrestling is if you make a mistake on the football field, you'll be told the moment you walk back. If you make a mistake in pro wrestling, you'll be the last one to know in the locker room.
You'll be told when they sack you. They'll tell you like, oh, X, Y, Z has this issue with you doing this and saying this. And one of my problems is that because I have such a shit filter from at the best of times, when these things accumulate, it'll be a series of things where you've said something that somebody doesn't like, or you've done something that somebody doesn't like, and nobody has ever turned around and said, hey, I prefer if you didn't say that or do that because it offends me in some way. But then somebody else will turn around, your promoter or whatever will turn around and be like, oh, sorry, I can't use you because these 3 people said they don't like you.
Yeah.
And I'd have to keep these 3 people happy. So you have to go because it's easier to remove 1 piece than 3, you know?
For sure, yeah.
And that's always kind of been my issue.
You know what? It's all, I think I've always had this like bizarre detachment from pro wrestling, even when I was in it, because I wasn't a fan when I started.
Yeah, I remember you saying that years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wasn't a fan when I actually got into it. I got into it because of video games.
Yeah.
Basically for Christmas I got a PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
And one of my friends lent me the SmackDown game. Didn't really care about it, just wanted something different to play. And I made a character, and this is cool. You can make a character, you can make yourself, or you can make an avatar for whatever. But then it became apparent that like the other people I'm having my guy fight are real people. Yeah. They exist in the real world, and I can watch them on TV. So I'd like watch a couple of episodes, but I was never really like. I'd imagine if I had never gone to Irish Whip, it would have been like 1 summer or 2 summers I was interested and just faded out.
Yeah,
honestly, like. So what ended up happening on our end, as I mentioned earlier, my cousin Mark Ace Card, he and I had this like idea that we were going to eventually, when we turned 18, we moved to the UK and joined a wrestling school because that was the only place we knew where they existed. And then one just happened to pop up in Dublin about 6 weeks later. And he was like, this one's here, let's go check it out. And I was like, yeah, sure. And he actually went without me. And I was like, fuck. Like now I have to go, you know, and if he hadn't have, I doubt I ever would have done it. You know, so but by his action, it like started this like domino effect.
Yeah, and there was a whole bunch of us there for a while from Scaries and Balbriggan, like a bunch of you and a few of your schoolmates. Like,
that's right. Yeah,
I can't remember their actual names, but they had fucking gas names like Popeye and Sinbad.
Popeye, yeah. But like this is the pan face.
Pan face. That was your cousin, wasn't it? Yeah.
So all the pan face. Yeah, that wasn't even his wrestling nickname. That was just his nickname. Yeah. But the pan, he gets called sometimes, or the jaw now as well. So the point is that as I came into it, there was all these like names people would like be big on, or like things, and I have no fucking clue what the fuck anyone was talking about. Like I discovered like Ring of Honor and TNA at the same time I was watching WWE. So like to me, AJ Styles and CM Punk and Christopher Daniels were at the same level as John Cena and Brock Lesnar and whatever. Like the only time, so marking out, right? So for people that listen, if you mark out, it's like somebody inside the business acting like a fan to one of the names in the business, one of the celebrities. So you weren't meant to do this. It was very unprofessional. I remember we were told AJ Styles was coming for a guest seminar, and I fucking flipped my lid. Like I couldn't believe it. Like
I think I was there, and you literally shouted out, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
and yeah, I think you got a few stares over that because it was unprofessional, you know.
But but it became like, real to me then.
Yeah, but we were like, I was like 2 weeks into training. You must have been about maybe 6 weeks into training because you were there a bit before me. Like that was a big fucking deal. Like I'd seen only a little bit of AJ Styles, but I'd read about him in like magazines for ages, and that was cool. Like,
but that's it. Like it's to try and understand. Like the reason I'm even mentioning this is that like now if somebody goes and joins one of the wrestling schools in Dublin or wherever else in Ireland, right? There's a bit of history there now. There's like 20 years of history essentially. Yeah. Like when we were there, that was like day one. There was nothing. There was nothing prior. There was literally no other pro wrestling in Ireland prior to 2002. And we were kicking off in 2004. You know what I'm saying? So maybe there were some bits and pieces here and there, but I'm not aware of it, you know? So
well, there was a history, but it was mostly like lads that had trained either in Carrickfergus with the Finleys or over in the UK, and they came and they like there was shows in Ireland. There was like I remember there was a big Twitter debate a while ago about one of the promoters from Ireland said that there was no Irish wrestling history before 2002, and he was firmly shut down by like older people who really knew their stuff. There was, but there was no like local homegrown scene around the Dublin area.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
There was lads that had went abroad and like trained with people in London and stuff, but there wasn't a bubbling scene that wasn't just a tour that had extended past the UK and came into Ireland, you know?
It's a bizarre thing to look back on, the amount of people or the number of athletes that were there that ended up becoming like names for
Jesus,
one way or another. Like, it's really, we really fucked up, didn't we?
Oh,